All right, look at all those beautiful faces on the screen today. I'm so excited to talk to all of you. Welcome to TokiTV, our gathering each and every week for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenant's legacy. We're just going to get in it today. So on our usuals, we're going to do a quick hello, and then we're going to get right to our guests. So Howard, I want to start with you. How are you today?
I'm doing real well, thanks. And for a whale report, which probably everybody else knows, it's on the screen because they've been looking at the Orca Network community page. J-Pod is still down in the possession triangle, been there since October 19, except for one quick trip north to the San Juans and somewhere and then back down. So they're still down there for it. Jay must be lots of chum for them. And then there's this other so far mystery group that showed up off Fox Spit, east side of Whidbey and Saratoga Passage, and last seen near Sandy Point, so headed south, apparently. So we'll keep you updated on who that may be.
That's awesome.
I'm just here to see the beautiful images and hear the stories and listen up and maybe offer some context wherever I can.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you as always. Christina, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Happy to be here. And yeah, I want to hear some stories and thoughts about all of this L-Pod at Penn Cove. Woohoo.
Me too. Let's see. Let's check in with Ulla in Germany. How are you?
Hi, good evening from Germany. Great to be back here. Yeah, what a emotional week it was to see L-Pod in Penn Cove. So, yeah, I'm very excited to hear from the other guests.
Me too.
What they have to tell us, yeah.
Thanks for being with us, Ulla. I know it's really late, but you're dedicated. We love you. Thanks for being with us today.
Love you too.
Deb Cruz. You muted? Oops.
Yep.
What happens
hanging in there and yeah, hanging in there and hunkering down for the big fight. So
yeah, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. Ma, let's check in with you.
Hi everyone, all good here, thanks. Just roasting hot as usual, and apparently we had Orlando felt an earthquake, so I called Jumanji. I've had enough. It's like, oh, it was Florida. But really excited to hear everybody's stories about L-Pod in Penn Cove, so thanks for coming on to share them with us.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate you guys. Let's start by sharing this article this newscast that came out. Let's check this out.
Seeing a pod of orcas is really special anytime, but this was a momentous, historic occasion that people got to celebrate together. This is a site that has eluded shoreline whale watchers at Penn Cove for decades. Southern resident orcas active at the surface of these waters. Kat Martin took this video shoulder to shoulder with other orca lovers, knowing this was a moment to remember.
We were all taken aback. This was history in the making. This is the first time in 54 years that these whales had come back to this cove in particular. We followed them down all the way to the Coupeville Wharf and watched them as they made a beautiful pass, spy hopping, tail lobbing.
King 5 reported on orca captures in the 70s here at Penn Cove, where businesses rounded up whales, killing several of them as they captured others, including then calf TokiTV, who was put on display for years at the Miami Seaquarium. The Lummi Nation and others fought for decades for her return before her death in 2023. The Orca Conservancy says orcas are cultural animals that pass down information from generation to generation, and Southern residents have not been seen in Penn Cove since. But earlier this week, they were spotted.
And I said, oh my God, look there, right there, let's go. And we watched as these whales got closer and closer into Penn Cove. We had our cameras at the ready, and they finally crossed that threshold.
It's unclear why they chose to return. Experts say it's possible they were looking for a place to get out of wind and rest, or that younger generations are open to exploring new places. Martin says she hopes people who see her video are made aware of the continued endangered status of Southern residents.
If you can do anything at all, just do it. If you're out there on a boat, be whale-wise, be boat-friendly to these animals. Give them their distance. They need a quieter space to live.
She encourages people to do whatever they can to support the cause of saving the Southern residents, whether that means donating your time or to an organization that supports conservation. Reporting from Penn Cove, Erica Zucco, King 5 News.
All right. Kat, you are awesome. I see you're getting a little embarrassed there, but you're about to go live, so you got to get over that one. Welcome to the screen, Kat. Wow, what a, like she said, momentous occasion. Tell us how you felt. What was going on that day?
Oh my gosh. So kind of like I was describing in the video, we actually had no intentions of going to Penn Cove or do any sort of whale watching that day, but it was just one of those things where I saw the notification on my phone, and my roommate had never seen the residents before. So I just kind of said, okay, we're going in the car, we're leaving, let's go, drop everything, please. They're in an area that I never thought they would be. So I just kind of went to Long Point and said, if they go down south, they go down south, but they're pushing towards Penn Cove. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens here. And the closer that they got, my heart just raced faster and faster. I was like, oh my God, is this actually happening? Are they actually going to do the thing that we have always known them not to do? And when they finally did, it was just like a, everybody's jaws were dropping. It was insane. It was incredible. I was on the verge of tears. My roommate was off in the distance sobbing. It's something that will live with me until the day I die. Like, I got to see that happen for the first time after 54 years of them not being there.
That's amazing. I'm showing the photos you sent me, you guys. This Kat took these photos. I mean, just look at that. Oh, I would have been screaming. Were you screaming? No,
I wasn't screaming. I was excited, but I was definitely not screaming.
Look at that one, you guys. Oh, it's beautiful. Man, thank you so much, Kat, for sharing the photos and then for, telling us, Ma, I'm not sure why your photo was sticking there. We'll put you back. So you were there both days, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch the beginning. Were you there both days or just the first?
I was just for the first one. It was too windy for me to go out the second day, but seeing some of the other pictures that came out Sarah, I got to give you major props for some of the photos that you took. Those were incredible. But no, I was only there for the first day.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for that, for doing the interview with King 5, because you bring up what we all keep saying all the time, is this is it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful that you got to experience that, and we have to save our family. We have to do something. We have to do better. We have to keep working harder and speaking louder, like we say. So thank you for saying that during the news article, so that everyone that I keep calling it article, that everyone hears and sees that they can ask, what can I do? And that's really what we need to be reminding people, is that they can do something. Marcia had a question. She wanted to know, did you hear any? Were there any vocals heard?
I didn't hear any vocals, no.
Okay.
Too windy.
Yeah.
Too far away.
Well, speaking of windy, let's bring Sarah up to the bigger screen. Sarah Geist, thank you so much for being with us. You got some incredible photos, but first, let's hear, where were you when you heard they were there, and how quickly did you get there?
So the first day I was actually on the peninsula camping, and I was just heartbroken that I wasn't going to be there. So when I found out that in the morning of Monday, that they were in Holmes Harbor, I was like, okay, well, I have to go see them. So I literally followed them all morning from the mouth of Holmes Harbor to the inner Holmes Harbor, back to the mouth of Holmes Harbor, up the coast, and that pass at Long Point. It was freezing and it was so windy, but the windy conditions made the water so dynamic that they didn't hesitate. They just booked it straight up, straight past Long Point into the mussel rafts of Penn Cove, so deep in. And we thought that they were going to the other side, and a friend and I decided to stop at the park at the end of Penn Cove. I can't remember the name of the park. And we saw them kind of turn and go back. So me and my friend went on to the Captain Whidbey dock, and that's when they porpoised right by the dock, going even deeper into Penn Cove. You can see one of my pictures has Ocean Sun in front of the dock where the captures happened. That one. And it was just, we were just quiet, just watching the whole thing happen. And it was just amazing. And then 72 and 105, that's 72 there, racer. And 105, her son, Fluke, just spent an hour and a half going back and forth around the dock. Just an hour and a half down there while the rest of the family was mid Penn Cove, just kind of doing the same thing on their own. And it was something.
Look at that one.
That's a wave maker.
Wow.
88, I think.
So I heard you guys were freezing.
Yes. It was so cold. And like the wind at Penn Cove was picking up sand and just pelting me in the face. Yeah, Jill was there. So yeah, that was crazy.
Thank you so much for sharing with, Howard. Let me see. I think I had you muted. Go ahead.
I'd like to add a little historical context, and Sandra can chime in here too, because when I read that description on the whale report that came out 2 days ago, the sightings report that lists all the sightings, had Breaking Protocol had a narrative of those 2 days and more, but especially those 2 days, the third and the fourth, when they went into Penn Cove. And that description that you just described, Sarah, of L72 and L105, and I didn't know about L25, Ocean Sun also, and maybe others that were right there in front of the Captain Whidbey Inn, which is the farthest reach west into Penn Cove. And they were between the Captain Whidbey and that dock where they were hauled out, called the fuel dock. And what is just remarkable to me, that gives me goosebumps, is that that was where, in probably both years, 70 and 71, where the calves that had been netted, ripped away from their mothers and netted up tight and strapped onto the side of the seine boats that were that were transporting them, where they were staged, where they were held for who knows how many hours, maybe days, while phone calls were made to sell them, while transport was arranged, a flatbed truck to come to the fuel dock. So that was a place where they were held in anguish, netted, completely netted, tied up to the side of boats for hours and hours and hours, while their families were just helpless, couldn't do anything. And at the same time, the others were over by the mussel rafts. And we've taken every capture commemoration event, we've taken boat rides out to the exact location identified by John Stone, who was there at the time as the son of the owner of the Captain Whidbey Inn. And we went right out to the exact location where the wooden corrals had been constructed to be able to herd the mothers with the babies in so they could push the mothers away and net the babies. That is where the other whales were pacing back and forth, right on that same location for a couple of hours. That's no coincidence in my mind. It's sort of a scientific convention to discount that they would have any memory of that, or that they would be able to tell stories that L-25, who was there at the time, we don't have the photographic proof, but they were all there, that she would be able to tell the others that had happened there, that would be in their collective memory. I think that's what you'd call the parsimonious answer, that they would have that memory and they would tell those stories, and that they were there in full awareness of that history and feeling it. So I just, those places are tragic but sacred places for them, I think. So, Sandra, does that fit your rendition of history? You are the chronicler of the captures. You're muted.
Good.
I got you're good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Annette. Thanks. Yeah, that's an accurate summary, Howie. That is how it was. And they're very spiritual beings. So you can't help but wonder, why now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we'll never know, but we can wonder.
But it's a good discussion, because I think a lot of us have very similar thoughts. We all had very similar thoughts when we first heard that they were there, and this idea of this history lesson being passed on to her family. They had heard, maybe she had communicated the stories before and couldn't take herself back there, and then maybe at this point it was no, it's time to go see that. Maybe we've heard, a lot of people's thoughts are it's a time for healing. She took them back there kind of full circle as a time for healing. We can make up all kind of stuff, and we will, and we'll keep talking about that. But it's I was really curious, Dr. Pollard, with in getting in touch with you. I was so really relieved that you were willing to come on, because you were there. You have this. I'll never forget the video you sent me when we created that video on why bringing Toki home was so important. And you talked about really wanting to finish the story in a positive way. And so I was curious how it impacted you personally to see them there.
Well, I was just so surprised, and we know they've got up to Long Point before, which is the mouth of Penn Cove, but then they'll maybe turn around and come back down the Saratoga Passage or go out the other way. Again, we don't know. We can't see in the dark, and there may have been occasions when some of El-Pod has gone in there, but it was just so striking that they continued into Penn Cove, and I could hardly believe it. And I didn't see them in by the mussel rafts. I saw them from the boat ramp, and I was very aware of all the spy hopping. And I have to give my husband credit here for the question as to whether there was one spy hopper that was maybe more, obvious than the others. And that was why I was wondering if Centre for Whale Research were able to identify, from any particular whale that was spy hopping. But I know that there was more than one. What I was also noticing was I did see some tail slaps, which to me was a good sign they're finding some food. But we also know, and it's always been my thinking, that one reason maybe they didn't go in there was because there isn't really that much fish for them. So why did they do it this time? It was a surreal moment, even standing in that howling wind. But it was just strange. It was just strange. And I just wondered what was going on there. And what were they saying to each other? Why this particular moment? What had taken them deep into Penn Cove? It was definitely a strange experience. Yeah. I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I saw it. I was obviously following where the whales were, because that's what I do, along with many other people. And I was still surprised when we got up there and they had actually entered Penn Cove.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us. Christina, go ahead.
I was just finding it very curious that it's just the L-Pod, right? Like J-Pod and K-Pod, just L-Pod. I mean, to me, that seems to be really significant that it was just them.
Well, yes. And we assume that all of them were there at the time, because Ted Griffin said there were 100 whales out there, but then, he exaggerated. So I don't know for sure, but of the photos, I believe that there were 6 individuals that were able to be identified by their saddle patch in the late 70s. Well, actually, it was not until the 80s that we got those photos, but we were able to compare and identify 6, and they were all L-Pod individuals. So somehow, maybe L-Pod was more vulnerable or had more babies left after the previous captures, or I don't know, but they seem to be the ones that were picked off more than the others. And there was a question here about, do we know how many L-Pod were alive in 1971? And the answer is 1. L-25 Ocean Sun is the only individual who was there at that time.
Yeah. Thanks, Howard. Oh man, all kinds of emotions coming up. Let's see. Let's check in with Megan. Megan, you were there and you sent some photos as well. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, your thoughts, your experience?
Well, when I found out Sunday that they were headed north through Saratoga, I had been south on Friday with all 3 pods that had been out down in the southern Puget Sound. So I was really excited to see that they were coming a little bit closer to home, especially given the fact that they had not returned to Penn Cove, to our knowledge, since the captures had happened. I think what was the most significant for me is knowing that it's a very real possibility that our residents could be extinct within my lifetime. This made that moment all the more special. Sorry. I love these animals. I think the spiritual connection that they have with each other, just the joy that they bring to so many people in this area. This was one of the most incredible things I've ever witnessed. I am a very realistic, kind of realist person, but this gave me a lot of hope that maybe this is a good omen of signs, things to come for them. Maybe the food supply is getting better. You never know. We could all speculate what this means. But yeah, it was just so wonderful to watch. I had commented on someone else's photo that they had posted on the Orca Network community group that I feel like this is LPOD taking Penn Cove back. It's them reversing the trauma that they experienced collectively, and whether the members who weren't alive at the time know the stories from L25, we never know. We want to hope that they do, but I really feel like this was them reclaiming that area.
That's awesome. I like that. And I hope that that's true. And as the photos and video, there's some video out there, just the power when they came in, like they just came in so powerful, and so that fits when you say that, reclaiming, like they came in and this was no longer, we know about intergenerational trauma, and this maybe was a first step in some healing, something full circle. Yeah,
definitely. It's always going to be a place of sadness. I don't think that will ever go away, but maybe this was them trying to rewrite that story.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for being with us. We'll have more questions, guys. We're gonna, if you guys at home have questions for the folks, please go ahead and type them in, and we'll get to them. I want to check in with Jill, and we all know Jill is an amazing photographer, and has has agreed to be with us today, which I was really happy about. How was this for you, Jill?
Well, I've got to say I've been following these whales for over 20 years, and I don't recall seeing LPOD this far north in Saratoga ever before. It might have happened, but I didn't see her. Seeing K's and L's, but not K's and J's, but not L's. Anyway, the alert came out from Orca Network. So, of course, I dashed out and dashed up the long point, and I was so far away, you could almost see splashes on the horizon. But anyway, we hung out there, and they started coming over towards us very slowly, but they came towards us, and I kept thinking, okay, they're going to make a big arc and head south again, and they didn't. And it was absolutely mind-boggling, very emotional, actually, when you thought about it, that they continued on into Penn Cove. And I didn't go any further than the Coopville Wharf to spot them, because I figured they were going to turn around really quickly, because there's no fish in there. There's no food in there, and no reason for them to stay. And they did that first day. They did turn around just a little beyond the Coopville Wharf and come back out again. So, of course, we got two lots of views of them. And then the next day when they came back, it was just unbelievable. It was just... I can't believe they're doing it. And of course, the wind, as Sarah mentioned, and the conditions were horrific. They really, really were. By the time I got out, I went out to Long Point and got out of my car. I could hardly hold the door on my car, and got out onto the beach and couldn't hold my camera still because the wind was grabbing it and tossing it. And I had to back up on my car so I wouldn't get blown away. Seriously, it was serious wind. And they went on into Penn Cove, and the puzzling part was they went all the way to Penn Cove, to the end of Penn Cove, and the water was calmer in there. It was still whitecaps, but it was calmer in there. And they spent a lot of time in there in the afternoon. It was fabulous. And then the next day they started heading up, and I thought, I can't believe they're coming up here for a third day. There's no food in Penn Cove. Anyway, they didn't go into Penn Cove the third day, but it was mind-boggling, actually. I mean, we were all very emotional. It really was. Yeah. But the Monday was quite the day out there. And I did see Racer and Fluke out by Captain Whidbey. I saw them out there for quite a while too. It was really, really kind of cool. Very cool. So fun to see them. Absolutely fun to see them. I hope they come back soon. I can't hear you.
I said I muted myself. I was like, get the cameras ready, get the jackets, the beanies, just in case it's windy. But just watching and following social media during those couple of days, even people who weren't there and people who, everybody felt it. Everyone felt it. There was different. Everyone was feeling maybe something different, but everyone was impacted by this, and everyone knew that this means something. This has to mean something. For it to be happening now. And I don't know, I'm just so pleased to be able to hear it from those of you that got to see with your own eyes the excitement. I know you're all probably jumping up and down together.
I think it brought people together a lot. Those of us out there who were watching, I mean, we're all just in awe. Our jaws have dropped, and just saying, "Wow, can you believe this?" It really was special being out there.
Thank you so much. Are you doing calendar? You have a calendar this year?
I do. As a matter of fact, I want to see. Oh, wait.
I want to tell people about it because you're here, and I think it's a good time to do it.
Let's see.
Nice.
Right. So
That's this year's.
And we can get this on the Orca Network.
Should be on the web shop, I hope, by today, maybe tomorrow.
Can we see the back of it real quick? I'll try to get it up too, but can we see the back of the calendar?
Oh, sure.
Look at that, guys.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There.
Really
It's
great.
The entire $20 goes to Orca Network. Just so that's my contribution. Yeah. Anyway,
that's really, really cool. Well, some people may be getting some calendars for Christmas. We're probably going to all buy them for each other. Watch, that's what's going to happen. That's really great. Thank you so much, Jill, for being with us.
Thank you.
And I think, Giles was out there. Center for Whale Research was out there. Howard, are we expecting anything? Further reports? I mean,
well, there will be a Center for Whale Research encounter report that will include all the individuals, the IDs of all that were there, and a description of the project that they're doing, which is really kind of interesting. It's difficult methodologically to get all the parts coordinated, but the Orca Behavior Institute is using hydrophones to get the the vocals, and at the same time, weather permitting, the Center for Whale Research is conducting the drone studies that they have done before, so they're getting the behavior synchronized to the nanosecond with the acoustics to see if they can see a correlation, if there is a call and then a change in behavior and some response to the call, to give some kind of context, because that's always been, the impossible question is, what are they saying and what does any of it mean? Because it has all the earmarks of language. It's specific to that family, that extended family, the southern residents. None of the northern residents, offshores, transients, big orcas, they all have their own completely different vocabularies and set of calls. So that pretty well fits the definition of language. So it's language, so it means something. Each of those calls has some kind of meaning. And this is an attempt to try to figure out what they're saying. So it's an interesting project, but they'll also do the ID, which they do for every encounter. They'll do the IDs of every individual. And it's really fascinating reading to go to the Center for Whale Research encounters, and you can get into the archives back many years, but they post usually within a week anyway. After each actual encounter, it will be posted with the most amazing photos and sometimes videos, and a description of how it started and where they went and what the whales did and their behavior. Somebody went off playing with somebody else and somebody else joined in, and they just sort of describe their movements in a really good narrative way that you can really hear the story. So that will be coming up, I would say, within a few days, but they're at it right now. They're down with JPod right now. So they're pretty busy, and every day is a new encounter. So they've got a lot to write about.
I'm so grateful for all these organizations working together, with the acoustics and the drone, and and then you got Giles out there, getting we can see how they're doing, what their health, what's going on with their health. And I really just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge a birthday to yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think 23rd birthday
of Orca Network.
Orca Network. So, just really we talk about how, and I think Sandra said this, like it really brought the community together, or Jill might have said that, and Howard, Orca Network has done such. I mean, talk about building a community and connecting all these people who love orcas, and I know Howard, he's going to be like, yeah, that's what we did, but I just want you to everyone to grasp just how amazing that was. If you and Susan came and you were like, no, we're going to create this community that cares for orcas, and you guys did that, and you guys have done tremendous work in bringing all these other organizations together. I just want to say thank you, and give anyone else the opportunity to say something about Orca Network as well, because I know a lot of us would not be connected without Orca Network.
Well, I would just like to add that actually that was sort of the idea, or at least a part of the thinking behind the Toki campaign, starting by Ken announcing it with the Secretary of State and the governor in 1995. And then I took it over because they all had day jobs. So I figured she needs to come home. That's first and foremost. We'll do everything we can to campaign for her to come home. But to do that, we had to tell the story of her family. We had to connect her with her family and show people that she belongs here. Her family is here. She was taken from here. And that meant telling the story of the Southern residents, telling everything we knew and could about their natural history, their incredible lifetime bondedness with each other, that they were, a tight, cohesive family that always stayed together. The male and female stayed with their mothers their entire lives, and their cultural capabilities as that began to be better known. So that has sort of been the guiding ethos behind Orca Network from the very beginning, is to tell their stories and to share their stories and to hear their stories from all the people who then go out and see them and care about them and learn about them and teach about them. So it's multiplied many times since then.
And I'm sharing the website and just a few things from the website. So folks, I really encourage you to go check out orcanetwork.org, learning what you can do. Talks about Toki's legacy. You can go and, sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy, you can go to the online shop and ways to give. And then there's things you can buy, including the beautiful calendar that we were just talking about of Jill. So just thank you so much, Howard, for everything you guys have done. Anyone else want to add or talk about maybe how you got involved with Orca Network? Feel free to go ahead and speak up.
I want to just say you guys are awesome, and bringing all the people together, and just the work that you do is just irreplaceable. I mean, there's can't put a price on it. You know what I mean? It's so valuable, and and amazing. And I'm so grateful for you all, really, and bringing so many people together. So you rock.
Thank you. Someone just put a comment that they're a new follower and how can the calendars be ordered. So if you go to orcanetwork.org, and then you go to the online shop and you scroll down and find the calendars. Yeah, Jill?
May not be on until tomorrow. Trevor was going to do it today on the web shop. Yeah.
By
So
tomorrow, it'll be on.
okay, tomorrow. Good. Cool. Thank you.
So tomorrow, but you can go today too, but go back tomorrow for the calendar specifically, but there's lots of really cool stuff to support Orca Network and really cool things that you probably want. So I know Ula in Germany has a really cool hat, specially given to her Orca Network hat. Let's see.
Yes.
I'm looking through to see if there's
I
any.
love that hat, yeah. And
Yeah.
I will be one of the first who order the calendar, believe me. I was searching already for one. My last calendar was from Monica Wieland-Shields. Yeah, J-Pod females. So I need a new one for next year. So I'm very happy to see that one will be there.
That's great.
All right.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of questions. One was, do we have any idea of Ocean Sun's health? And well, we don't, except that she looks just fine. She powered in against the waves into Penn Cove and travels with L-Pod, and they cover 75 to 100 miles every 24 hours. And she certainly keeps up, so she seems just fine. And another question was, why do we ring the bell at the wharf? Well, if there's whales, you ring the bell. It's said right there by the bell. If you see a whale, ring the bell. So that was one of the rare occasions when the bell could be rung.
It was cool. Someone had a video, and you can hear them ring the bell, and then the bell starts going. That was cool. I'm not sure whose video that was, but that was really, really awesome. I thought that was cool. Good stuff. I'll show you guys. It's a quiet video, and I hope Rachel doesn't mind. We're giving her credit for sure, but Rachel Height posted a video from that day, and so I'm going to go ahead and play that now.
Great.
And again, there's no sound, but look at this. Wow, that's just really, really great. You can get the excitement of seeing them coming in. That was really great.
I had a video as well from that Monday, and it's on Orca Network as well. But you couldn't have sound because the wind was so strong that it was really bad. So that's why there was no sound in her video too, because that was from Monday when they were in Penn Cove.
That's from Monday. Oh, just amazing. Just amazing. Let's go around. I want to hear thoughts because I don't know that we kind of checked in with Kat because Kat started at the beginning. But Kat, your thoughts on why they were there?
So I've had a couple of people ask me this, and I tend to tread very cautiously with answering that because, of course, we will never know for sure why they were there. And I don't want to sit there and, put human emotions on animals we really could not know. I'd like to hope that maybe this is a good omen for things, turning around for the better. Maybe My best guess is that this is a lesson in history for LPOD, and just a chance for the younger generations to see just part of the family's history. And we were joking around that these whales that were spy hopping all the time were going, where the heck are we? What are we doing here? I think it might just be a lesson in history, but we can never say for sure.
Yeah. Ma, I want to check in with you because I know Ma and I were talking very first day, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I don't tread lightly. I absolutely put emotion in there because we feel so connected to them. And I'm not a scientist, so I get to do that. But let's check in, Ma, and to see what was your initial as a Reiki healer, just your initial thoughts on this event?
As I said to you at the time, for about 3 days beforehand, I just felt this intense excitement, and I knew something was going on, but wasn't given what it was that was going on. And then, of course, this happens with LPOD going into Penn Cove, and all I felt was just sheer joy, to be honest. And I'm not a scientist either, and I do really have very strong beliefs and experience with connecting with these beings. And in my opinion, they're interdimensional beings. Ocean Sun, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever, was taking her family into the cove and telling them what had happened in the past. All the spy hops, it's just, why can't they do that? Why shouldn't they do that? Because that's what we do. And to me, it just makes sense that that's what she was doing. She's the last one to remember it, and she was passing on her knowledge and her information to the younger members of the family to tell them what had actually happened. And also, I believe Toki was there with her and with them all. So for me, once that had happened, I understood, and I was just blown away, to be honest. That again, she is just so strong. She is such a strong spirit, and I don't know why I'm surprised, because it also was as strong as her. So for me, that's what she was doing. Yeah. But before I finish, if I can get on my soapbox,
do it.
There was something that someone sent to me. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. We've got to save. We can't sit back. We've got to be louder. We've got to do more, because we are really up against it. And maybe this is our test. This is, what they're throwing at us and saying, well, really, how much do you care? Are you prepared to call, till January? We've got that limited amount of time to put humongous pressure on President Biden, and all he has to do is sign the paperwork on his desk. And I think I'm right in saying that, and I see it on his desk. Let this be his lasting legacy, that he breaches those dams. He's got the proof from the other dams that have come down, and nature restoring itself. We've got to save them, and we've got to work so hard to do it. But are we up for the challenge?
Yeah.
I am. Yep.
Awesome. Because it's important. We Diana, with her calf and the I can't remember the orca's name now, that brought her over to the boat. They're showing us that they can help, whether that's, are we watching? Are we paying attention? Are we seeing what's going on? We hear the reports, we get the information from Center for Whale Research, another whale not found. We get the reports on their health from the drone footages and seeing them, when they're thin, and like, we can't, this has been happening for so long, but it doesn't mean we should act like we're just hearing this for the first time. We should act like we're shocked by this, because that puts us into action. And so thank you, Ma, for saying that. I'll put Christina up on the screen here too in just a little bit. But Howard, any thoughts on actions moving forward? Thank you, Peggy. It was L83 Magic that carried L128 over for us to see there at the boat. But Howard, action items, man, we gotta get working.
No more than Christina would say, and probably everyone else here, is we need to restore the Snake River to allow the salmon to travel up, and especially the smolts come down from the mountains to the ocean. They're blocked in 140 miles of slackwater reservoirs, and that is decimating the populations. That they are not able to reproduce in numbers that will lead to even staying even, much less regrowing their population while those dams are there. And it seems, I mean, the time is right. All the foundations have been laid. Even NOAA came out with a paper in December of 22 saying, if you want the fish, you got to remove the dams. I mean, basically, they made it very clear for the first time. So, the knowledge is there. We just need to generate more political will to make it happen. So we're working on it, and all help is definitely appreciated.
Thank you. And Deb Cruz put up here, you guys, the website, and then also the comment line, and then there's a text number as well that we'll put up. So everyone, please, this week, let's just, take some time and do all three actions, and and even better if you send a postcard or you send something in person that they can see. But regardless, I think we do all of it. I think we should do all of it. I want to check in with Sandra Pollard, see if you have any thoughts on actions that we can do, or, encouragement for folks, because...
Well, I think I would have to agree with Ma. I do think that these whales in their thoughts are ahead of us at times. As I said, they are spiritual beings. And I think they did come in to say, we don't want to see this happen again. We've almost been extinguished once. We don't want to go. So please fight for us. Do everything you can, because we know that you love us. We're iconic species. We're absolutely beautiful and wonderful, but we need help, and a lot of help. So please, all these websites that are being put up here now, people, please contact these websites and keep pushing. We can't afford to give up now. They're relying on us, and we need to keep it going. And thank you, Howard, for everything that you and Orca Network are doing, and everybody is doing to raise awareness and keep this moving as fast as possible, because not only are they running out of time, but we're running out of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Jill, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you guys have both said it very well. Excuse me. The dams are very important. I don't know what else we can do there except keep the pressure on. It's very heartening, though, to see that J-Pod is spending so much time in Puget Sound right now, because they're obviously getting food to eat. And I'm guessing that if L-Pod was really hungry at the moment, at the time they were here, they would have stopped for a while, and they didn't. So that, excuse me, as that is a little bit of reassuring news, I guess. Not a whole bunch, but a little bit. Hopefully it'll continue in that direction, having a lot of food to eat. Fisher.
Thank you. And then I know who's going to have lots of action items for us. Christina, what are some things that we can and should and will be doing this week?
Well, we should be writing lots of postcards. I mean, texting and calling is great, but writing the postcards is most important because that's what counts the most besides actually physically being there at the White House with a sign or something. So if you can do that, because he has office, he is the president until January 20th. Okay, so we can get him to do this. We can do this. Okay, we can, because we are so powerful, especially when we're all together. You know what I mean? Like, look at Ula here from Germany, and because it doesn't matter where you are, these whales, everyone loves these whales. They're the most known and loved whales in the world, and we cannot let them go extinct, and we won't, because we're going to be taking actions, and we're also going to be getting other people to take actions, because that's what we need. We have all been taking a lot of actions and writing, but we need other people, because we need to flood them. We need to seriously flood them with our demands, because we are the people and they work for us. And we always need to remember that, because that's how it works. So Biden can do it. He almost did it with Obama. I don't know what happened, but he knows the situation. That's what's most important, is that he knows the situation, and I believe that he will do it. And I believe in the power of optimism, and I really would like to just read this really quick quote because it's very powerful. So, the reason visualization is so powerful is because as you create pictures in your mind of seeing yourself with what it is you want, you are generating thoughts and feelings of having it now. Visualization is simply powerfully focused thought in pictures, and it causes equally powerful feelings. So, when you are visualizing, you are emitting that powerful frequency out into the universe. The law of attraction will take hold of that powerful signal and return those pictures back to you, just as you saw them in your mind. It is very powerful. Please visualize Biden with his pen. And there he is. He's signing that executive order. And then the dams are free flowing and the river is cooling down immediately. And it's a beautiful thing. And we don't have to do anything besides, it's almost like kind of a screw, like the earth and burn. It's not, we don't have to do any of the things that they did, like with the Klamath and stuff. It's pretty simple. So he's going to sign. So just keep that visualization in your mind, please, and help other people visualize it, as well as you with your pen and your postcards. Yes, and write, please. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Christina. And I want to encourage people to go to cetaceans.org as well. Peggy Yoki.
Sorry.
The Peggy Yoki's website. I mean, it's you want action items at your fingertips, literally easy to do. So go to cetaceans.org. You go there and you'll see the page on the southern resident killer whales. There's a whole bunch of actions that you guys can take, including an activist pack. It's downloadable, super easy. So share that widely. We need to stay on task here and fight for her family. And again, Kat, I really appreciate you saying that. So when the news put that out, everyone hears that this isn't just like, oh, this was great and it was really nice to see. And we have to save them. We love them so much. We're celebrating them, and everyone's so joyous to see them come back. And we have to save them, you guys. Have to save them.
I wanted to add something, if I could, real quick, kind of like a shameless plug, but it's also been a rather big project that I've been undertaking as of lately for the Southern residents, if it's okay to share.
Of course.
Let me go grab it real quick.
Okay, cool. No, and this is what we do, right? Like we need new actions, we need new things. Like we got to keep acknowledging everything that everyone's doing.
So this was something that I don't know if you can see it very well. So it's a sweater that I've been designing, and it was, oh, this is not the one in color, but every single Southern resident is on the back of these hoodies.
Wow.
And it was something that I did for Northwest Artists Against Extinction and Save Our Wild Salmon. This is actually the design that they put out on Bonfire. I believe they still have it up on Bonfire. So if you go take a look at their websites, they should have it linked there somewhere. And I have a bunch of other people that have gotten these hoodies over time, and they all like I don't make any profits off of it, but it's just my way as an artist that I'm getting that voice out there and raising that awareness.
Thank you. And I will absolutely check it out. If there's any way to get that on Orca Network, that would be triply cool. I mean, that's really cool. Can you show it one more time and I'll put the screen big, if you don't mind?
I will try my best here. So this is the front of it. And then this is the back side where it shows. Oh my God, this is really, really funky here. I'm so sorry.
No, that's great. No,
perfect. I don't know if you can see what it says, but you know, every living Southern resident fits on this one piece. And then, you know, with the recent Center for Whale Research reports, that number has decreased by 2 on that piece. So it's no longer accurate. Technically, we're still losing those whales.
It's beautiful.
It's really, really cool. Thank you, Kat. And I will definitely get one. Someone said more Christmas presents. I love it. I mean, yeah. Sandra.
Yeah, thank you, Annette. I would like to say, if you don't mind, that if anybody is not familiar with why we were all surprised to see the whales come into Penn Cove, because it is so long ago, 54 years ago, the history of what happened there is in this book, which is the first one I wrote, available from Orca Network. If you'd like to order it from them, if you want to know the whole story. And there's also Toki's story as well, which was the follow-up book. And again, they are available from Orca Network. I like to ask people to get them from there. So I would just, I hope you don't mind if I just say that, in case people say, well, what's all the fuss about? You know, just because they didn't go in there for all these years. And the reason is because of what happened. 1969, there were a lot of 6-7 whales in there captured, but they were released. 1970, as far as we know, J, K, and L, all 3 pods. And also, again, a whole lot of whales driven in 1971. And that was when 3 L pod whales, according to Eric Hoyt, another great book, Orca, were L-pod whales that were captured then. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
No, thank you for saying that, because I think a lot of time, you know, we just assume like everybody knows because this is what we do, right? This is where our hearts have been for so many years. But that history is important. So thank you for reminding us. And yes, guys, go to orcanetwork.org, go to the online shop. It's not just cute and fun stuff. There's history there, and it all goes to support Orca Network, who we love and why we're all connected. Ma?
Yeah, I just wanted to give everybody a little update on the Jason Momoa guitar. As I was telling Annette earlier, unfortunately, I've had so many conversations with fake Jason Momoas, I've lost count. But we're still at the same stage that his helper for his manager, his agent, has actually sent it to him. The problem is that he has been all around the world and he's currently in New Zealand. So I'm hoping that by Christmas, when he goes home, that will be when he opens the box and gets the guitar and all the information that's in it. And I'm just hoping that, you know, it's the right time that this comes to light for him, and he can help us with another big push to get these dams down. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. It's not being forgotten about. It's just that's the way it is right now. Thanks.
Thanks, Ma. And for those that don't know, Ma hand painted a guitar for Jason Momoa. We know he's got his heart in the right place, and so this is one way to get his attention and also share some information. So I'm going to show you this real quick, and you can see there. She put damsense.org, damtruth.org, pointing him in the right direction. Snake and the Whale, which is a documentary that's going to be coming out. We're waiting on that. So thanks, Ma, for doing that. That's going to grab someone's attention, right? It's not just a comment on a page. So most definitely that's going to get his attention. I want to check in real quick with Megan. Megan, is there anything you want to add before we close?
No, just really thank you to the Orca Network and all of the other organizations that work collaboratively with our conservation efforts and outreach and trying to get more public awareness of what's going on with our southern residents. So thank you. I think this is an incredible group of organizations and people that are fighting for what we all want.
Oh man, you missed all that. I was thanking you so much for coming on and letting you know that you guys are always welcome. Come on, share videos, photos. Even if you don't have videos or photos, you want to come and just talk to us. Come talk to the folks, encourage people to keep doing the right thing, keep fighting for the Southern resident orcas. You guys are always welcome to be on here. Sarah, anything from you before we close? You good? Yeah, okay. Thank you guys again so much. It's always weird to close because I don't want to stop talking to you guys because we're all doing such cool stuff. But thank you again for being on here. Jill, I'm going to buy some calendars. I think I bought like a bunch last year, right? Didn't I buy like a whole group of them? So I'll get some more. And God, just thank you guys so much for being here. We'll close, if that's cool with everyone, with Rachel's video. But Howard, as always, I'm going to give you the final word.
Oh, just thank you all for coming and sharing your stories and being a part of this community. And it's a wonderful thing. So I really appreciate everybody being here today. And let's keep watching those whales. They're out there right now.
They're awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next week.